Women have been affected exponentially more than men during the pandemic. 10 times more women than men have fallen out of the labor force since March 2020. And women continue to fight for affordable childcare and flexible work practices. We're joined by the founder and CEO of Viive Planning, Mallory McGrath, to discuss the year of She-covery and why it's so important to plan and secure women's futures for success. Now, Mallory, good morning.
Good morning, Kimberley. Thank you for having me.
So what exactly is She-covery?
You know, we saw quite a lot of damage from the COVID-19 pandemic, and whether that be from a health perspective, a government and healthcare perspective, but then also from a family unit perspective. We saw a lot of families trapped in their houses with young children, whether they be daycare age or school age, trying to navigate all of those complex family emotions and dynamics while having to work full time. And we saw the stress and strain of this on parents and on children alike. But if we want to hone in on She-covery here, it's really about how women have been specifically impacted by the past 2 years. You know, in my instance, I was working full-time from home. I had a 4, almost then 5-year-old daughter. I had a husband working from home. It was a lot to handle. And there were times where I even personally felt like I had to pull back from my job so that I could be the emotional and organizational sort of pillar of the household. And I think we see that with a lot of women. And what She-covery is really trying to do is emphasize a choice for women. If you want to be able to stay home more, great. But if you want to prioritize your career and give it equal importance to the work you're doing with your family, then it's incredibly important that we start providing that platform for women now that we're starting to see, hopefully, the end of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, absolutely. And so why is it so important to set women up for success?
I think it's incredibly important. I don't think that we could function as a society without the success of women. I mean, we are seeing so many more female entrepreneurs who are just breaking that glass ceiling over and over again. And it's so important that we support women through whatever path they take, whether they're a stay-at-home mom, they're working a 9-to-5 job, or they're an entrepreneur like me. It doesn't matter. Whatever their choice is, we need to be supporting them because they are the pillars, in my opinion, the pillars of our society.
And in your career, the industry that you're in, it's pretty much male dominated. Did you find it intimidating to start your business in the real estate planning, or sorry, in estate planning, I should say?
There were times where I was definitely intimidated. I think what's most important, no matter what industry you're in, when it is a male-dominated industry, you need to go in with a really strong sense of self. You need to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and for those weaknesses, surround yourself with individuals, both male and female, who can support you through that journey. And that was really big with me, is I knew I was entering a very heavily male-dominated industry, very specifically with lawyers, financial advisors, accountants. These professions individually were in the past, I should say, much more male dominated, and we're starting to see a turnover where women are really starting to take charge in those industries, and that's trickling into the estate planning industry where I am. And so I think that I've come into this industry at a really positive time where we're seeing a lot more women taking a very forward approach and being the leaders in this industry, and I count myself very lucky to be amongst them.
And we've got about 30 seconds here left, Mallory. What advice would you give on how to break down barriers, again, regardless of the industry?
I think it's really important that you focus on what your strengths are and you go in feeling really strong and confident in who you are. I think it's important to look at yourself for inspiration. It's great when we look at others and they give us little things that inspire us to move forward, but believe in yourself. You have so much strength inside of you, and being able to take that and put that into an industry where it is male dominated, where we as women really want to make a difference, is so incredibly important.
Well, Mallory McGrath, founder and CEO of Viive Planning, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us about She-covery this morning.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I appreciate it.
Well, more of Global News Morning continues after the break.